Hello everyone. Today we are going to see why respiratory pathway is known as amphibolic. Amphibolic means both catabolic as well as anabolic. In all living cells, number of chemical reactions happen in order to sustain the life of organism. All these chemical reactions can be broadly categorized into catabolism and anabolism. Catabolism is a breakdown process, whereas anabolism is a build-up process. During catabolism, number of macromolecules like carbohydrates, proteins or lipids, they undergo breakdown and form simple substances. For example, carbohydrates give rise to sugars, proteins gives rise to amino acids, and lipids gives rise to fatty acids and glycerol. These simple substances, when they undergo oxidation, there is release of energy, and that energy is used to synthesize ATP molecules. So if you look at catabolism, though it appears like a destructive process, actually it provides simple substances for synthesis of several other macromolecules by anabolism. Apart from that, it also provides energy for several vital processes in living cells. If you look at anabolism, this is a build-up process. In this process, from simple substances, complex substances are synthesized. You may ask me why it has to undergo breakdown and why it has to again synthesize the same molecules. It is not that same molecules are synthesized based on the need of the cell. Different kinds of carbohydrates are synthesized from these sugars, and structural proteins or functional proteins or hormones are synthesized from amino acids. Different kinds of lipids are produced from these fatty acids and glycerol. For this anabolic process, energy is required, and that is also provided by this catabolism. Catabolism and anabolism together is known as metabolism. First, let's see why respiration is said to be catabolic. Then let's see why it is anabolic, so that we can say for sure it is amphibolic. Different kinds of respiratory substrates are available in living cells. It can be carbohydrates, fats or proteins. Though these three are the major respiratory substrates, carbohydrate is the most preferred one for energy releasing process. Among carbohydrates, glucose is the most preferred respiratory substrate. So whatever may be the kind of carbohydrates, first it should get converted into glucose, only then it can enter into aerobic respiration. In aerobic respiration, first step is glycolysis, during which glucose undergoes breakdown and gives rise to two molecules of pyruvate, which is a 3-carbon compound. This step is known as glycolysis. This pyruvate, in the presence of oxygen, enters into mitochondria, where it gives rise to a 2-carbon compound known as acetyl-CoA. This acetyl-CoA then enters into the third step of aerobic respiration, that is TCA cycle. So if you observe this, in the first step, there is conversion of complex substance into simple substance. This simple substance then undergoes oxidation by first 3 steps of aerobic respiration. The electrons that are removed during this process are transferred to electron transport chain, which is the 4th step of aerobic respiration. The energy released during electron transfer is utilized to synthesize ATP molecules. So if you see, it is typically a catabolic process. Let's see about other respiratory substrates. If carbohydrates are not available, in that case, our cells utilize fats. Fats cannot directly enter into the first step. Instead, it should undergo breakdown first. So after breakdown, it forms glycerol and fatty acids. Glycerol gets converted into 3-phosphoglyceraldehyde, which is one of the intermediate in glycolysis. Then it enters into the rest of the steps. Whereas fatty acid gets converted into acetyl-CoA, then it enters into TCA cycle. If fats are also not available, in such case, proteins will be used as respiratory substrate. These proteins cannot directly enter into respiratory pathway. First, it gets converted into amino acids by proteases. Proteases are digestive enzymes of proteins. These amino acids, after deamination, get converted either into pyruvate or into acetyl-CoA or some of the intermediates of TCA cycle. Apart from glucose, other respiratory substrates cannot enter into the first step. They can enter only as intermediates of respiratory pathway. Since respiration involves breakdown of respiratory substrates, it was considered as a catabolic process. But it is not only catabolic, it is also anabolic. Let's see how. Whenever cells required energy, these macromolecules have undergone breakdown. That is why we said it as catabolic. But whenever cells require these macromolecules, cells synthesize these macromolecules by withdrawing intermediates from the respiratory pathway. For example, this pyruvate, acetyl-CoA or certain intermediates of TCA cycle can get converted into amino acids, and these amino acids can get converted into proteins. In the same way, acetyl-CoA can give rise to fatty acid, 3-phosphoglyceraldehyde can get converted into DHAP and then get converted into glycerol. From these two, fats can be synthesized. In the same way, pyruvate can give rise to glucose whenever needed. So it is not only catabolic, it is also anabolic because it is a bidirectional process. Apart from this, number of intermediates of respiratory pathway act as precursors for synthesis of various biomolecules. Let's see a few important examples alone here. First, let's take acetyl-CoA. Acetyl-CoA is needed for synthesis of cholesterol, lipid, ketone bodies and proteins. As acetyl-CoA cannot enter into cytosol, citrate, the first stable product of TCA cycle, is exported into cytosol where it gets converted into acetyl-CoA. From this acetyl-CoA, fatty acids and cholesterol are synthesized in living cells. Already we have seen certain amino acids can get converted into intermediates of TCA cycle. In the same way, certain intermediates of TCA cycle can give rise to amino acids. For example, alpha-ketoglutarate and oxaloacetate can give rise to amino acids that are required for synthesis of proteins. Apart from that, for the synthesis of nucleotides, purines and pyrimidines are needed. Alpha-ketoglutarate can give rise to purines and oxaloacetate is needed for synthesis of pyrimidines. Oxaloacetate can also give rise to glucose. Let's see the last example, succinyl-CoA. Succinyl-CoA is needed for synthesis of porphyrin containing compounds. Few important examples are chlorophyll, hemoglobin and cytochromes. All of these are important pigment molecules in living cells. Now we have seen that respiratory intermediates act as precursors for synthesis of various biomolecules. So respiratory pathway is also anabolic. As it is both catabolic and anabolic, we call respiratory pathway as amphibolic. In the next class, we are going to see what is a respiratory quotient and how, based on different respiratory substrates, respiratory quotient also shows variation.